Every
Yeah.
new earning you want to acquire, you have to increase in learning. And
Yeah.
learning precedes earning. You have to yearn to
Oh.
learn to earn. You have to increase your capacity on a constant basis. If you are a dispenser of information, like we all are, most of us who are speakers, you need to continuously increase your capacity. You've got to increase your understanding of the subject that you already know. You have
Mm-hmm.
to master the fundamentals such that you gain mastery. So important.
That's great. That's great. So,
Because
for
in
those
this
who are
season,
just joining us,
in this season, people will pay you more for your expertise, not
yeah.
for shallow knowledge. You've got to go a little deeper because
Hmm.
there's information everywhere. There's information everywhere. So you need to go a little deeper than just having shallow knowledge.
Hmm. That is powerful. So, for those who are just joining us, my name is Stephen Michael. I'm the founder of the Fodax Training Academy, which is a public speaking school that is based here in Lagos and has a presence in Abuja. And with me today is my mentor, who came all the way from Akwa Ibom and is joining me on the live stream to talk about
Yes,
business presentation. So I would
amazing.
like him to introduce himself so that we all know him, just in case you've never heard about Dr.
Okay,
George.
so my name is George Essien. I'm the Dean of Podium Dynamics Academy. Podium Dynamics Academy is a public speaking school. It's located in Uyo, and Uyo is in Akwa Ibom, for those of you who don't know. And we have presence in Port Harcourt, and we're working on having presence in Lagos.
Wow,
I'm also into foundation. I have a foundation that I run that is into giving. I'm a life coach, motivational speaker, and peak performance consultant. You can check my site out, www.georgeacn.com. My name, georgeacn.com. And then you get to know almost everything about me, what I do. That's a summary of who I am.
that is great. So it's a pleasure to have you here today. And
Okay?
we want to talk about business presentation. So that reminded me of your story of how you went to you win and you actually
Uh,
won some millions of naira from the federal government as a result of your communication prowess. So I don't know if you
uh.
can recap the story, give us a feel of what it was like.
Okay, one of the things that happened to me many years ago was to decide to go entrepreneurial. So I often tell people that I've never had cause to work for anybody. I already knew there was no job. So I had to start out in business. And one thing that helped me to start in business was my ability to speak and sell, to speak and to sell. Two key skills you need to have to succeed: to speak and to sell.
And
Very,
to
very
sell.
important. So I got this skill going for me, and I started my business. I was able to convince somebody, a businessman, to invest £1 million in me when I left school in my business. So I started this training organization in 2008, and because I was in a location that did not understand the concept I was trying to push, the thing folded off. In a year, I got from £1 million reach to 1.5 million naira in debts.
Hmm.
So it became so bad. The girl I wanted to get married to left me. The office I was using, I had to leave it. Things went from bad to bad. At some point, I was using a cafe, then I was using fast food to attend to people. But one of the things I learned during that period was, you know what? I needed to increase my capacity, constantly increase my capacity, and to learn, develop skills that will make me better. Because once you increase your capacity and you get better, you get valuable. Once you get valuable, you get attractive. You attract kind of people. So after a few years of trying all of this, I met, I saw the opportunity of viewing, and I went out there to give it a shot. And trust me, learning how to speak and increasing my capacity helped me a great way to win. Because at a certain point, we were told to stand and pitch our business, to pitch, to present it. And I did it successfully, and I became 10 million naira richer from a broke guy to earning to having 10 million naira. You know, after that, I was able to set up my printing press. I was able to set up my multimedia studio, my photography studio, my public speaking school. I started to grow my business, head to network. Right now, we have two offices where we do printing and we do multimedia and so on. So we start growing the business. It also helped me grow my brand, put up my website. And after that 10 million experience, learning how to speak and sell also helped me pitch. About 4 years after that meeting, I was able to make my next 32 million naira just learning how to speak and to sell. So speaking and selling will help anybody, it doesn't matter who you are, to make money and to do well in business.
Interesting. Interesting. I've not really been in your win particularly, but I've
Okay.
had the privilege of pitching my own business or some of my clients' business in front of their prospective investors or
Okay.
their prospective clients or their prospects. And one of the things I learned is that how you present your business really matters. It could really determine if people want to do business with you or not. You can have a very brilliant business idea, but if you are unable to share it persuasively, if you're unable to put it together in such a way that people would want to buy into it, then you could lose a lot of contracts. And I've seen
Yeah.
people lose lots of contracts out of a business that is even qualified because they just don't know how to set up the entire presentation and all of that. So the next
Mm.
question I would like to ask you is, if somebody were to prepare a business presentation, what are the steps that you think this person needs to take?
Okay, basically, when it comes to speaking, we do chunking. What's to chunk? We break public speaking into three categories. And I'm sure for those of you who are into public speaking, you know that you have the opening, you have the body, and you have the close. You have the
Yeah.
entry, the transition body, and then the exits. You must have an exit strategy. So the opening is meant to wow, literally wow the audience, the participants, or the investor. The body is meant to woo, to draw them into your conversation, into your thoughts, into your ideas. And then the close is meant to win them, to get them to buy into whatever it is you're sharing. So you want to first of all think along those lines. What are my opening lines? What are the first things I want to share? So there's a way to go about opening your presentation, your pitch. You have to think about it thoroughly. You have to craft an opening. To craft an opening simply means to take your time to study and come up with something that is enticing, that has a wow effect. And then
Mhm.
from there, then when you get into your body, that's where you share your points and so on. And then you have to have a closing strategy. Applies to if you're speaking to customers, if you're speaking to investors, if you're speaking to a public, you need to have the opening, the body, and the close. So for me, that is key. How do I want to open my thought? What's my primacy? Primacy in public speaking is my opening line of thoughts. What's my thought? What am I going to share? Do I want to start with
Mm.
my story? And the story, there's a way to go about telling a story. You don't want to go on a lengthy journey on the story. You want to be short,
Yeah.
brief. You want to be spicy, striking. It can be just a little dialogue of what happened to you. Something very short and start, because stories have a very powerful way of connecting with people. Stories connect with our imagination. Stories connect with our emotions. Stories bring human feelings to the conversation. People may resist your pitch, but they will not resist the story well told. So you want to start with a story, or you want to start with a startling statement, like something that is on maybe a research you have done in that your line of business that people don't know. Some findings, some statistics, some research. You want to start that way. You want to start with a quote, a famous quote from a business person, maybe a Nigerian business person talking about that subject. Maybe from Aliko Dangote, or from Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, or from Bill Gates, or from Warren Buffett. You want to start with a quote. So planning your opening is very, very key. And then you go into your body. The body should contain what exactly you want. And I want to say this to people who are listening to me.
Okay.
Investors crave for information. Investors crave for information. Investors rarely fund starters. They rarely fund starters because it's like risking your money on somebody who has no experience.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to risk their money on someone who doesn't have experience. So to compensate for experience, you must have expertise. And your expertise is in your conversation. Your expertise in your communication. That's why you must not be peripheral or superficial. You've got to be deeper. They need to
Okay.
perceive and sense that you have a grasp of that business you're doing or that thing you're sharing. There has to be depth in your thinking and depth in your conversation. So the body is where you have the bulk of your conversation, the bulk of your pitching, the bulk of the content. That is so that, and that's where they're going to ask you questions. And then don't just share. The body also enables you to transition. You have to be able to transition from your thoughts, and there's a way to go about it. There's a training to go about moving your thoughts before you now conclude. So these three simple ways can help you in doing a 5-minute pitch and a 1-minute elevator speech. Even when you're doing an elevator speech, a 1-minute elevator speech, you should be thinking to yourself, now, how do I get my opening together, my close, and my opening, my body, and my close? You think that way will help you. Even when you're doing an impromptu speech, talk about your business. You're thinking, what's my opening? What's my opening? How do I want to start? All right. Then what's the body? What's the content? You know, and if you're doing a short speech, maybe 3 or 2 points, and then how do I want to exit? What's my exit strategy? Okay, so sometimes your opening can be, you can use an icebreaker. What's an icebreaker? An icebreaker is an activity or a game or an exercise that breaks patterns, that shocks people, that catches their attention. It could be entertaining, it could be surprising, it can be startling. For example, you can do a demonstration. You come on stage, do your presentation, and then the first thing you're doing is that you're doing some demonstration with your hands on the business you're doing, you know, or you're showing a picture. I don't know if you get the point.
Yes.
The idea is your opening has to be dramatic, has to have a wow effect, has to tell the person listening to you or the investor that, wow, there's something serious going on here. This guy has something to say. So that's pretty much what I did in my own presentation, and I keep doing. Even when I've been trainings, I make sure that my opening is fantastic. I transition well through my body, and I take it to a great end where, you know, if I want to collect money from you, that means that you prepare for the end. You plan the end in mind. Your close is as important. Your exit strategy is the most important thing in your pitch. If you get it wrong with your exit, you miss. Some people are very great communicators. They can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. They're very eloquent. They have ideas, but they don't know how to seal the deal. They don't know how to collect the money.
That is when you talk about the close.
The close. They don't know how to close. And closing is everything. People may forgive you for a bad opening, but they will not forgive you. They will not even respond to you when your close is bad. People remember the close. Just as the comedian should leave the audience thinking, the communicator should leave the audience, just as the comedian should leave the audience laughing, rather, the communicator should leave the audience thinking. Thinking.
Wow. So, if there is anything we can pick from all of this for those who are viewing us, and please, if you can see us and you can hear us very well, please leave a comment. If you have questions, please leave a comment below. I can see your comments if you can leave it below this video. If you're just joining us, you can give us a shout out if you can, or just drop a comment or a question. So from the things you talked about the 3 most important processes. The first is to wow the audience, to grab attention. And the second is to woo them, to put them into the conversation. And then the third is to win them, which basically is to close. So in addition to that, I would like to add that if you are also going to make a business presentation, it is very important to know what people are looking for if they want to do business with you. Yes, you need to know what people are looking for. If they are clients, there is what clients are looking for. If they are investors, there is what investors are looking for. For instance, every investor, like you've already mentioned somewhere along your thoughts, wants to invest in somebody that has experience, right? So they want to know that you have experience. So if you don't have experience, you probably need to put someone who has experience into your team. And then investors want to invest in a business that is sustainable in the future. So nobody wants to put their money in a business that has come to last for 6 months or 1 year, or even 5 years, even 10 years. People want to invest for posterity. That's why they are called investors. And so some investors also, they will look at your team, the competence of your team, the character of your team. Have they been entrepreneurs before? Why are they in business? And then some investors want to know what motivated you into business. Yes, they want to know why you are doing this. Are you doing this because you want to ride the next car, you want to become the next Bill Gates, or do you truly have a driving passion or vision? And that brings us to the wow. Sometimes to wow people, apart from the stuffs you've already mentioned, you might need to start with why you went into that business.
Mm. Very, very,
That
very
is this.
important.
Yes,
Quite
yes.
important. Why? The why. The
The
why is
why.
so important. Why?
So
Actually,
why am I doing this?
people go into business. That's why I'm cutting you. People go
No
into
problem.
business for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
People go into business for a number of reasons. Number one, people go into business because they want to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So most Nigerians go into business for survival.
Sure.
And then we also have people who go into business because they want to succeed. Most Americans go into business because they want to succeed. So they succeed with their business and they sell their business off.
Yeah.
Like the founders of McDonald's actually built the business to a certain point and then sold it off to Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc was one who expanded and took the business to the next level. So people sell their business. If you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, he once talked
Yeah.
about the fact that he did a business and then he grew to a certain point and he sold it off. People get to the point where they sell their businesses off. The founders of Instagram eventually sold their business to Facebook in 2012. In 2014, the founders of WhatsApp eventually sold their business
To Facebook.
to Facebook
To Facebook. Yeah.
for I think 12 billion or so, 19 billion. So people grow to some people want to succeed and then sell. Another reason why people want to do business, they think transgenerational. They want to transfer or bequeath whatever they have done to the next generation. So Israelis, Japanese, Chinese, Jews, and sometimes Arabs, they think along those lines. Africans mostly think in terms of survival. So real investors who want to give you good money will want to check out your motive, your motivation, like you said, your passion. Why are you doing this thing? Is it
Yeah.
for long term? Is it in line with your passion? And it's always good to do business, your core business, actually. Your core business should be in line with your passion. But there's some other school of thought that will say that you can also do some other businesses that
Yeah.
are not necessarily in line with your passion. Yes, you can, because you need to have multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
But your core business, the business that involves you, that gets you
You.
involved, should be in
Yeah.
line with your passion, so that you can sustain and you can go ahead with it.
That's great.
So I just
That's
added
great. So
that thought to the answer.
yes, thank you so much. So on that note, I'm going to ask the next question that I have here. What are the processes for a business person who has never attended a public speaking school? How can they groom their communication skills on their own?
He said he's not going to a public speaking school.
They have not gone to a public speaking school. What is the solution for them? Let's say somebody that has the presentation in the next 3 days and
Okay.
probably has never received any formal coaching or training. What can they do to groom their public speaking skills?
Okay, so for me right now, what I encourage you to do, I would still encourage you to attend a public speaking school, because even after that 3-day presentation, you will do other pitches, you do other presentations. So you still need to
Yeah.
learn. Um, the problem with a conversation across the table with a mentor is what's more than a month's study of books. So some
True.
people say, okay, I want to read materials. What materials can I read? What books can I read? That's fine. But you always need to have a teacher. He will ease the process for you. The
Yeah.
teacher takes information and transforms information into knowledge. A lot of us, we are moving the realm, we're staying in the realm of information. So we have information in our heads, but it's disjointed. It's not structured. It's not systematic. It's not sequential. So you need someone to now say, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is step to take, the step to take, the step to take. And that's why you need a teacher in your life to help you speak better. So, but if you're having a presentation to do in a few days, what I'll tell you to do is this. It's very powerful, and you can do it even right now. Use your phone, and you can do some recordings of that presentation. A few short minutes, depends on how long the presentation is going to be. Practice your lines. Follow the principle I shared earlier. Opening, body, close. Opening, body, close. What's my open, what's my body, and what's my close. Do it in 5 minutes. Record yourself with your recorder. And you can also do a video of it to see your facial expressions, to see your gesticulations. There are two tools we use in public speaking. We use a mirror and we use our recorder. So you can do that, do like 10 videos and listen to yourself. If you do not convince yourself, you're not going to convince any other person. Delete the videos,
Sure.
do it again, videos, do it again until you can, because at the end of the day, you learn public speaking by speaking. You
True.
learn speaking by actually speaking, by rehearsing, doing it again and again. So that's for the person who wants to do a presentation in a few short days. However, there are a lot of technicalities, tactics, and strategies that the teacher will guide you through. So if you're watching this, Dr. Nikki is in Lagos. Reach out to him and then get him to sign you up in his school. Put you through a drill, put you through the rehearsals, and then you learn. And if you are around my area in the South, maybe in Port Harcourt, in Calabar, in Abia Delta, you can reach out to me and we can also help you physically. And I'm sure there's also an online package Dr. Mickey has. Like part of what we're doing here is
Yeah.
leading to an online school. I also run an online school. I have a robust online school. We have WhatsApp trainings, we have Telegram trainings, and then we're evolving into Zoom and video so people can learn. Facebook
Yeah.
groups. So get involved with those kind of groups, watch your videos, get their lessons, and it will cost you money. But just do that. And then I'm telling you, you become better. Because public speaking or communication is the second most important skill in life. There's 7 of them, but the second most important skill in life is communication. I hope I answered that
Wow.
question.
Yes, yes, you have. And in addition to that, I just want to share a little of my own experience in that field. I have had the privilege of working with politicians. I've had the privilege of working with company owners, all those big guys. And if there is anything I've noticed about them, it's the fact that some of these guys have been speaking before I met them. They have been speaking for maybe 15 years, sometimes 25 years before I finally get the chance to work with them. So one of the things I noticed is that if it is not your field, if it is not your area, if it is not your specialty, there are so many things you don't know.
Yeah.
And that is why you see some people, they still feel like I feel like there is more I could still learn. I feel like there is still more I need to do, and they are looking for coaches. So
Yeah.
you don't have to do this alone, especially if you have the option or the choice or the possibility of working with a coach or a mentor like Dr. George or myself, right? Because you can always reach out to these guys and we'll be able to put you through a process that will help you to become whatever that you want to become. There are 3 reasons why everybody needs a coach. Number 1 is you need a professional opinion. There
Yeah.
are lots of things you are doing right now that are wrong and you don't even know they are wrong because you've not dealt with a professional. And there are things you are doing that there is nothing wrong with it, but people are telling you that there is something wrong with it because they don't understand communication. The second reason why everybody needs a coach is because you want continuous assistance.
Oh,
You don't want to learn this now and then all of a sudden it disappears. So you want someone that continuously provides more assistance. I mean, I'm in your groups, so I know how you continue providing more coaching, more
yeah.
information. Today you post video, tomorrow you post audios, next tomorrow you post. I mean, you are posting consistently on these groups. That is what a coach is supposed to be doing, providing you with continuous learning opportunities. And right now, we're even moving it to your Facebook group, where we are helping over 10,000 speakers
Yeah.
in the nearest future to master public speaking skills on Facebook. And just in case you don't know about any of these groups, you can just send me a message and I will send you the links to all of these Facebook groups that you need to join. The third reason why everybody needs a coach is because the coach is like a body of validation.
Okay.
Are you with me, sir?
Are we still together?
Yes, we're here. We're here. The coach
Okay.
is like a body of validation. So most of us need somebody to validate what we are doing before we can confidently do it in front of the public. It happens to
Yeah.
everybody, funny enough. It happens to everybody. Even some coaches that you know still rely on their wife's validation before they do
Yeah.
some things publicly. They go to their
Oh,
wives and say, "Hey, what do you think about this? This is what I want to talk about today." And the wife said, "Oh, this is a beautiful presentation. Add a little thing here, change a little thing there, and it will be fine." And then they go out. These are professionals, but they still need that level of validation to be able to operate. So I think everybody needs a coach because everybody needs that validation. You need somebody to tell you that this is good, and you need to hear it from somebody who is a professional in that particular field. Okay, so
yeah.
then I will ask the next question at this moment. The next question I have for you is for people who want to,
Hmm.
for business owners who are looking to learn public speaking, do you think online training is appropriate for them?
Well, the way we are going post COVID-19 is what's trending now. Is the conversation everybody's having. I was listening to an audio podcast by a renowned speaker in Nigeria. Right now, he lives in America, and he was saying something about post COVID-19. We have to depend on this kind of platform, StreamYard, YouTube, Facebook Live. We just have to make do with it. So yes, for a business person, an online is a good start. It can lead into the virtual meeting, can lead into the actual meeting.
Mm-hmm.
It can start from there. There's a lot of things you can do. A lot of things you can do with the internet that you're totally not aware of. For example, in my WhatsApp group, I get people to do YouTube videos, YouTube practice videos. So if I give them an assignment to do, they do their YouTube videos and then they submit them in the WhatsApp group, and then we can I assess them. I use a speech mastery analysis test to assess them and get them to do it again, encourage them. So you can still learn if you're willing to do the assignments and the stuff. You can do learn public speaking on Telegram. You can learn it on StreamYard, and you can learn it on Facebook. You can learn it online and still get value if you do the
Sure.
assignment. Because most of the coaches will give you challenges, will give you assignments, and you have to do them, submit them so they can assess you. Because you learn public speaking by speaking. All right.
Yeah.
So the only challenge you most likely have is that physical
Interaction.
interaction,
And
which
then
can still
selfies.
and it's something like, oh,
You won't get to take selfies.
yes, but truth be told, you will do good. You do very even online. You do fantastically well online. I've coached people from all over the world online. They've never met before. They've invested so much money in the hundreds of thousands to learn, and they get value. We interact we do phone calls, we do video. I send videos to them, my videos. They do the assignments. I assess them, and they have improved over the years. And for me, I believe that you don't do training public speaking in a few days. You do public speaking. So for me, my programs are usually 3 months programs, so that you have done enough rehearsals, enough speech projects with me, then I now know that this person is good enough to go out there. So the entrepreneur needs to learn to speak. You need to learn. The salesperson needs to learn to speak. The leader needs to learn to speak. Communication is life. Is business. Is a major part of business. You can really not succeed without your ability to communicate. Communication has 3 things. 1, connection. You have to learn the art of connecting with people. You said something about knowing your customers, knowing the investors, analyzing the audience. That's connection. Developing rapport with them, mirroring them, relating with them, listening. You cannot speak unless you effectively listen. You have to learn to listen and listen to learn. Then before you start to speak. So listening precedes speaking. You have to know who you're dealing with, know what they want, know how whatever it is you're presenting can add value to them. All right. You see, let me just say this in passing. Your idea, if an idea is not good enough to generate funds, it's not good enough to be called a good idea. Because the law is that ideas must attract funding, vision must attract provision. So every time your vision does not attract provision, there is a communication issue. Every time your vision, your idea does not attract the resources you're looking for, there is a communication lacuna.
Maybe it's not getting to the right ears.
You don't understand how to communicate the idea you have to the people who have the resources. Once you've identified the person who can give you the resources you're looking for, the communication, the strategy of sharing that idea in a manner that the person will see it and run. And when I'm talking about communication here, I'm talking about written communication. I'm also talking about spoken communication. So pitching and proposal. Pitching is for speaking. Proposal is for writing. So you're writing your proposal in a manner that the person will read it and it's like, wow, this is good. I need to invest my money in this. And you're spoken in a manner that you clearly articulate your thoughts so that the person can see. You see, the investor has to see what you're saying. He doesn't want to hear what you're saying. People do all they want to do to get people to hear. No, your challenge is not hearing. People hear. The challenge is seeing, because the moment they see, they will run. The moment they see the picture of what you're saying, they will run, because vision inspires our emotions.
Sure.
Vision precedes our emotions. Whenever there's no motivation, there's no vision. If you are pursuing a project and you're not having the motivation, the passion anymore, check. There is a blurriness, there's a vagueness in your vision. So you go back. So the communicator's challenge is the vision challenge. Making sure that what he has thought about, what he has written, is seen by the investor. So that's where you connect. You connect. After connection, I've gone ahead of myself. The first thing is connecting. Okay. Then the next important thing is to cast. What does it mean to cast? To paint pictures. So as a communicator, as a business person, you need to learn how to paint compelling pictures. Put your investor into a trance. Mesmerize them. Let them see the potentials, the possibilities, the market value. Let them see what they will lose if they don't invest in your business. Let them feel guilty if they leave that place and hear you that they didn't invest with you. I don't know if it makes sense at all.
Yes, it makes sense. In fact,
you've covered every angle. You've covered every angle. You've answered the what's in it for me question. You've answered, you've met with their ego. You've answered their interest. You know, you've established the stake they will have in it. You show them everything. You show them the potentials. You show them the financials. You show them the market competition. You've dissected the competition or the competitors, and you have shown how you're going to mitigate the risks of competition. You've answered every question. Then, before you can now convince. So it's communication, basically. Business communication starts with connecting with people. The next thing is casting, painting pictures. The last thing is convincing. 3 things.
Wow. Connecting, casting, convincing. And in addition to what you said, when you were talking about the fact that they have to cast, some people will say, oh, how do I do this casting thing? There is a technique that I know about that I used to cast a vision. When I'm talking to members or I'm talking to investors, I start with just a single sentence. Imagine.
Wow. Imagine.
Imagine that you never have to struggle with stage fright for the rest of your life. And then they go, because once you say imagine, the human brain is like, okay, they start going into that trance.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can say something like, what if, and then ask a question. What if you never have to struggle to make money anymore? What if there is a better way to make money than what we are already doing right now? The moment you ask these questions, the human brain is very creative. It starts trying to picture. The more you can press that particular impression, the more you can explain it better, the more the brain is being driven into that trance. And then talking about, and these things work because by the time you take people there, by the time you take them to that trance, what happens is that their level of trust to where you are becomes more open. Now, why it is open is because they are vulnerable at that time. Everybody becomes vulnerable when they begin to see a vision of what they've always desired. Because it creates a level of hunger in them and reminds them of a loophole or a sort of emptiness that have always been there. So the moment you open up that gap, they become more receptive to your ideas or to your suggestions. This is one of the things they use in hypnotism. They have to tap into your desires, things that you've always loved, wished, or dreamed about. And when they open up that space, they can now make auto suggestions.
To you.
And at that point, you are more open to that. But the truth is, looking at the things you've also explained, I think it's important for us to explain that when it comes to business presentation, logic has a role to play. Yes, logic has a role to play. So it's not only about emotion. It's also about logic. So you have to look at the size of the market that you are serving. Yes, because if I'm an investor, I want to know how many people are we going to be addressing. You can't tell me you have a business, but by the time we look into the demographics of your prospects, we are seeing that only this thing can only be bought or can only interest about 200,000 persons. you really don't have
That's
a
not
business.
possible. May not be enough.
You really don't have a sustainable business, because by the time
Yeah.
we put enough money into advert, we exhaust the entire prospect that you have.
Yeah.
So you need to think of the market size, and then there is what they call
Very important.
validation. There is what they call market validation or it's a different thing from valuation. Valuation means that, hey, we have looked at the market, there is an opportunity for this. But then there is also market validation, which simply means how many people are currently paying you or at least begging you for this solution.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So the
Yes.
problem with many African entrepreneurs and pitching is that once they receive an idea, the next thing they are thinking of is how to convince somebody to bring money. But that's not the right way to go about it. Once you receive an idea, the first thing to do is to get some customers, to get some traction.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Go to Facebook and post a poll. I have so and so solution that I'm hoping to roll out in the next 3 months. How many persons would like to have this?
Beautiful, beautiful.
If 50 persons from your Facebook wall indicate interest, that's a traction. So now when you are starting a presentation, you say, I know to some of us who may think this is not a problem, but 2 weeks ago, I did a poll on my Facebook wall, and out of 500 friends I have, 50 of them in less than 50 minutes indicated interest in this product. That is to show that there is a market here. It is more convincing when you have traction than when you are just talking out of the air.
Yeah, true, true.
So, Doc, one of the things I do, and I'm telling you this because I know you do it also. One of the things I do when people come to me and say, coach me for business pitching, the first thing I do is to look into the business itself, the business idea itself. Because communication, a lot of people are misunderstanding public speaking and communication. Communication does not replace the place of character.
True.
Yeah. So we're not teaching you a skill and saying you can go and package. You know, some people say you can sell anything. I think what we are trying to say is that you can sell something that is good. You can't just package nonsense and then tend to sell it. Even if you end up using my techniques to sell nonsense, you can't sell it for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of people will start coming up and saying this guy, what he does is nonsense, what he does is trash. I do train in Abuja. My 2 days public speaking training is 65K. If you do a program of 65K and you don't deliver value, the next time you are coming, you will start hearing stories about your name. So it is important for speakers like myself and every other person we are helping. It is important to know that there are certain things that we also need to back up apart from our communication skills. Communication skill is very important. But then there are things that will make your communication skills even stronger.
Yeah. Can I come in? Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. I also want to add to what you've said. Socrates, some 3,000 years ago, said that the principle of persuasion is ethos, pathos, logos. I don't know if you've heard that before.
Yes,
ethos means integrity.
The 3 pillars of persuasion.
Persuasion, or convincing to a call, you need to work on your ethos. Whatever it is you're presenting should be ethical. You need to have some level of credibility, character, ethos. And you're saying that don't just go into business and not have credibility, not have gain traction. Have some integrity, because in capital raising, credibility can help you raise capital.
It matters.
A lot. So that's ethos. Then you said something about pathos. You need to have passion. And then logos, you have to have logic. You need to have content. You need to know what you do. So the ethos, pathos, logos principle of persuasion can really help you in business. Then also, let me add, but before you continue to your thoughts, you started by saying some very powerful words when you're having a conversation about casting. You said sometimes you can begin with imagine that. Imagine. That's a powerful good opener. That's a good opener. That's a good primacy. There are 5 most persuasive words that entrepreneurs can use. And first, one of them is imagine. The moment you use the word imagine, people go into trance. And when people go into trance, you have access to their subconscious.
Yeah.
You have access to their subconscious. And if you're not a person of integrity, you can influence them negatively. So you say, imagine that their eyes go up and they go into trance. So imagine what if is also very critical. What if is a pattern disruptor. What if is a pattern disruptor? it can make people doubt the convictions. If you question
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
conviction long enough, you start to
What if
doubt.
there is no life after death?
Yes.
And somebody
What
says,
if, for example, we know that
what?
Access Bank is sending people away. Access Bank is
Yeah.
sending, in fact, there are over 3 branches in my states that have been closed. But
Hmm.
there's no Access branch working right now in Akwa Ibom. There's,
Hmm.
according to, I don't know this, I saw this, I need to still verify this. Um, they have shut down 320 branches. There is no Access Bank. I don't know. I need to verify this, but I was looking at it online. There's no
Hmm.
Access Bank right now in my state. And what that means is that a lot of people, no less than 100 and something people, will lose their job in my
Lose their
state
jobs.
from Access
Hmm.
Bank. So if you're pitching to a banker who's been working, say, what if you lose your job? What
Hmm.
if you're among the people who will be
What if I
sacked
want?
from
Yeah.
Access Bank? So a banker friend of mine called me this morning. I was talking about a few things, and I told him, I hope you're prepared. Now, Access Bank has done that.
Other banks
Um,
will follow.
may begin to do their own stuff too. So you need
They
to
will.
prepare for post-COVID-19 issues. So what if it disrupts, forces you to think? Is a question that gets you to go into deep meditation, to start thinking
Hmm.
about, hey, what am I really doing with my life? What if? What if you die tomorrow? Do you have savings? What if you die tomorrow? Can your children be taken? How long can your children be taken care of? For those of us that are married and have kids,
Yeah.
you know, what if you can't walk again? What if you can't, that forces you to think and to prepare and plan. So I'm sorry I cut you short, but basically I
No,
want
no,
to
it's
add
fine.
things to
Hmm.
the things you've been sharing.
Wow, wow. It's been an amazing experience so far. It's been an amazing experience having this interaction, and I've exhausted the questions that I really want to ask you regarding business presentations. So I don't know if you have one final word, or maybe you have questions for me. I'll be glad to also take them.
Okay. So for me, what I want to say to anyone who's watching this and who would watch it, because I know that some people are
Some
watching
people will
live
watch me.
now,
Yeah,
and after this, some people watch on YouTube. We probably will share the videos, share it again for
yeah.
people to come watch. I like to say that we are at the time of this recording. At the time of the recording, today is May 2nd. Is it May 2nd or May 3rd? The 3rd
Today
of
is
May.
May 3rd.
Third. At the time of this recording, we are all at home. And after the COVID-19 pandemic, lockdown, all that, the world will never be the same again. Will never
Sure.
be the same again. And some people will lose out, some people will commit suicide, some people will slip into depression, some people will thrive. For those of us, people like me, I often tell people, I prepared. I'm a futurist. I think a step ahead. I think a step ahead. And as an entrepreneur, you must be futuristic. You must envisage.
Yeah.
Nigerian, now I'm going switching away from business because it's important I say this. A lot
Okay.
of Nigerians won't have as much money as you think. During the 2008 9 economic meltdown, the value of training came down. People didn't pay as much training as
Yeah.
possible. For some of us are into trainings, we go to companies, tell them to pay us 5 million, 10 million. Now that Access Bank is sending away folks, they won't have money to pay you 5 million naira. So you've got to
Yeah.
think ahead. First of all, you want to start doing more of live streaming, YouTube videos, and sharing your content. You want to begin to create
Yeah.
products in CDs, audio format, ebooks, that and online courses you can start selling at an affordable rate to people in Nigeria so that you can still be in business. That's for those of us that are speakers. You
Yeah.
want to start packaging products like I do, packaging products and distributing them if you're a speaker. If you're a business person, you want to transition, you want to sit down and articulate a plan that enables you to transition from offline to online. Everything you're doing, move online. Learn the technology that can help you move your business. If you're selling clothes, see how you can start selling them online. Put them, snap them with your phone, place them on Facebook, and see how many people can come get it. Start running Facebook advertisements. Start targeting people outside your region. I live in Uyo, and I generate millions of naira from people outside because I run thousands of naira worth of Facebook ads to advertise my trainings, to advertise my products. All right. Okay, so does that make sense? So we need to move. That's the point I'm trying to make. We need to move. I think we're out. I think we're done. But it's all right. So we need to move. We need to move from offline to online. If you do this, I'm almost certain that we will succeed and do well. I hope all that I shared made sense. God bless you. Oh.
Hello, Mr. George.
All right, are we back?
Yes, we're back. I don't know what happened. I guess it's network or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yes. The network went off. I noticed it went off. All right,
Yes, yes.
so basically, I already said move your business from offline to online. If you're
Okay.
whatever business you're doing, even if you're selling shoes, bags, if you're selling shoes, bags, snap them, put them on Facebook. Somebody
Hmm.
will purchase. Somebody will call you up, put a good price. Somebody will call
Yeah.
you up, and then create a distribution channel. You can start running Facebook ads. I do like 50K ads weekly
Wow.
to sell my products, my online products, and I target now. So Nigerians will still buy from you if your products are affordable.
Yeah.
Of course, but their purchasing power will slip down because right now the oil price has gone down. There's not as much flow, so we're going to experience some challenges in a few months. So
Yeah.
the next strategy, and Dr. Mickey, this is for you and for me,
Okay.
is to go international.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
International.
Yeah.
Very important ideas because I've listened to you and I know um, we have content that they can also learn from. So
Yeah.
we can start doing our trainings, we can start packaging our products for the international market, and they will
Okay.
purchase. It doesn't matter what kind of training, most of them have issues that we can answer, problems we can solve.
True.
Now,
True.
for the international market, the challenge they will normally have is the payments solution. How do you get these guys to give you money once you have
Mm-hmm.
delivered on value? So,
Mm-hmm.
what I've decided to do, I'm putting together a number of events and trainings in this month to start showing people how to start earning from people from all over the world. So that
Yeah.
but of course, you have to give value to show you step by step how you can start earning from people from all over the world. They can pay and it gets into your account. That even
Mm-hmm.
when the Nigerian market doesn't pay you as much as you want them to pay you, the foreign market can pay you. So I've said two things: make sure you go online, make sure you go online, and okay, I also want to say this: if we slip into a recession, what kind of business should the entrepreneur embark in? While
Okay.
what you're passionate about is important and good, but you want to start thinking about how much can it generate for you at this season? how much can it generate for you this season? I'm a public speaker, but I do know that public speaking engagements may dwindle this period
Yeah,
because
sure.
of it will dwindle. So I can't say because I'm passionate about that, I have to focus on that. I diversify. So you want to start thinking of how do you diversify, have other streams of income that can generate money for you aside your core passion. That's why I said sometimes you can do business outside of your core passion. You can meet a need, you can solve a problem. And
Yeah.
for people who want to go into business this period, what you should do is start selling consumables. People who
Okay.
want to, in the session, what you sell is consumable food, things people can use, toilet roll that people can use on a regular basis, and
Yeah.
you earn and you thrive that period. Another thing that you should do, that if you have resources, you can sell money. The rich guys in this season, what they do is that they will sell consumables, a lot of consumables, because those who are selling consumables right now are not lacking. They're not
Okay.
in any recession, and they will not be in any recession because people have to still eat and use those consumables. Even health products are consumables.
Yeah.
And they also sell money. What does it mean to sell money? You give out loans. Once we come out from these banks, people will start coming to request for money. They want
Yeah.
to get money from you for this and for that. They want your services. So you can give out money, you can give out your service as a loan that they will pay you. And then what the rich people do is basically they'll get a collateral.
Yeah.
They know that because there's a recession and the recession may stay long, you may not pay. So they
Sure.
will end up having your collateral as their own. So those are the two things people do. Ethically, I would say just sell consumables. But if you
Okay.
have resources, you can also sell money. So this is season where you move your business offline to online.
Mm.
This is where you're very particular about what you're selling. You're selling consumables, and then you are selling money. I hope I made
Thank you
sense.
so much. Thank you so much, Dr. George, for coming. And if anybody wants to join our Facebook group, or you want to join our WhatsApp group, or you want to buy any of Dr. George's material, you can simply send a WhatsApp message to the number on the screen so that I can send you his private number,
Okay,
or I
fantastic.
can add you up to the group because I'm also an admin in some of the groups so that you can
Okay, that's fine.
participate and get more values. If you want to have access to some of our free materials, because we have free materials to offer you,
Yeah, free material.
just chat
Okay,
me up,
actually,
remind me
I have
of
a
these
free material
videos.
here. Sorry, sir, I
Okay.
have a free material I want to give to the first 50 people. If you have up to
Okay.
50 watching, or if you're up to 50, even after this program, if you reach out to me on Facebook, George Essien is my name. I wear glasses like this, so you can see me. So you can